Hello, everybody. Good Saturday morning. I have the stream on Facebook on my page. I also have the YouTube page going as well. I'll check comments on YouTube, but I'm focused on my Facebook page. If you have any comments, I'll try to answer them back for you, as I always do. If you're mean, I won't answer you back. So I finally remembered Providenceville, everybody. And I also, that is not the coffee mug that Brad Travis got me for Christmas. This is the one. It says coffee time. And it's got my picture on the back. It's a younger, more vibrant Jeff, but yes. So I have my coffee. I have my mug. I don't have styrofoam cups. I have Providenceville. Providenceville is not dressed right now, though. He is. We have costumes for him that have been made by many, many people. And he doesn't have one on right now because I couldn't find one this morning. I think they're in a box. So Providenceville has made an appearance. There's a lot to talk about weather-wise, and there's a lot of you asking a lot of questions this morning on Facebook. In fact, I was pretty, I don't want to say surprised, because so many of you I talked to at like 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm amazed at how many of you are up that late or that early, however you want to look at it. But a lot of you had questions about the upcoming week, and I feel like that, there's a lot of different moving parts, and I get it, and it can be very confusing. The cold temperatures that we have out there right now this morning, and we are in the 20s for many locations. It was chilly this morning. That is not the Arctic air that is in the forecast that everybody seems to be talking about, social media. That comes on Sunday night and is with us for all of next week, okay? This was cold today, chilly this morning, chilly this afternoon in the 40s, lots of sunshine. But as we go into Sunday, look what happens to the temperature. It's like spring, and we're up to 60. Why do we have a 48 first alert weather day? Some guy chewed me out this morning. He's like, there's no thunderstorms that are going to produce tornadoes. Well, there was last weekend. But this weekend, no. This is a 48 first alert weather day for a couple reasons. Heavy rain after 5 p.m., wind gusts 40 miles an hour, and then cold temperatures coming in, diving south. So everything can freeze. If it's wet, it freezes. I don't think it's going to be a widespread problem, but northwest Alabama, Monday morning, could have a really slick commute. Then some flurries throughout the day on Monday. Temperatures in the 30s. If unfortunate happens Sunday night where we have some power outages, no heat for people with cold temperatures. That warrants a 48 first alert weather day. Okay? Cold on Tuesday. And then there's cold air all of next week. And then there's a potential for another system on Friday that I will address shortly in just a few moments. Because it is not cut in stone. I don't even know how to say that. It's not even, there's no definite, anybody who says that they know what's happening next Friday, it's not true. You can all look at trends, and there's no sampling happening with this low pressure. It's not even here yet. It's in the Eastern Pacific. So let's talk about what's going on right now, okay? Cold temperatures, storms for Sunday, mainly just rain and wind. Severe weather threat is low, but the cold temperatures will make the headlines. I have a hard time calling this like Arctic blast, and I know I'm going to take some heat for this. High temperatures in the 30s next week, right? Overnight lows around 20. It's cold. Everyone's going to talk about it. It's going to make national news. Everybody's going to be like, 85 million people. Time out. Last January, when we had the sleet fest and the icy situation, we had like prolonged period of days that were in the 20s with overnight lows in the single digits. And then preceding that, the Christmas before that, like I think it was in Christmas of 2022 when I first moved here, we had a high temperature on December 23rd of 21 degrees, but that was at midnight. It was like 8 degrees at 4 in the afternoon, and it was 1 for the low. We don't have anything like that in the foreseeable future. The temperatures will be cold next week, but not like that. But what makes this stick out is that it's not just for 2 or 3 days. It looks like once that cold air comes in on Sunday, it is here to stay for like almost the rest of the month. There might be some 40s at times, but that's about it. So I hope that helps the thought process of what we're thinking. Let me check and see if anybody bashed me there. Nope, not yet. All right. Where do we start? Amber, good morning. You brought all the goods for today's stream. I did. Got Providenceville, coffee cup that he's drinking out of, and then my coffee cup. Thank you, Brad Travis. It is coffee this morning. Hi, Jackie, my good dear friend. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you, too. It's a pleasure to see you on. You be safe, and God bless you. Amber says, Happy New Year, Jackie, which is fantastic. Jackie is a class act, everybody. You should all say hi to her because she's pretty awesome. Sherry Walls, good morning, Jeff from Gunnersville. Beautiful Gunnersville. Hey, a little chilly on the lake today if you're going to be walking around the city harbor. Yep. Maybe do a little fishing. You know, it's funny. I saw some boats on the water this morning. Like dedicated people who want to go fishing this morning, apparently is what I'm thinking. But it was cold. It was in the 20s. And Shannon, good morning. An interesting couple of weeks in the weather department. Glad I'm able to stay in. Well, yeah, and that's a great point. You know, last weekend was potential for severe thunderstorms. We talked about the low-end threat for a tornado. Unfortunately, that came to fruition with a tornado, EF1, that touched down in Athens. Some heavy rain, some gusty winds. And now this weekend, not so much severe thunderstorms, but the impact with the rain and the wind and then the colder temperatures. And it seems like each weekend we got something going on, right? And it's certainly not fake news. It's just a weather forecast, and you take it for what it's worth. If you know, I'll say this in a nice way. If you live in your mom's basement and you don't have to work and you can fire off things from computers and you don't have to go anywhere, then this doesn't really impact you. But for those people who have got to be out Sunday afternoon, Sunday night, and then again Monday morning for that morning commute, which is going to be extremely hectic already because kids are going back to school. You know there's going to be more volume on the highways with more cars. We haven't had that in like a week and a half with the holidays, the way they were set up. And I imagine that out of precaution, especially for areas in northwest Alabama, there may be some delays Monday morning because of the rapidly cold temperatures moving in. You go from 60 to 30, anything that's wet on the roadways is going to freeze up, right? And not to mention, too, we have a lot of hills in this area, and even when the temperatures maybe bounce back to like 36 or 37 during the day on Monday, with a few flurries coming down, where you have hills, that water from the saturated grass that we have maybe up to 1 to 2 inches of rain on Sunday night is all going to trickle into the road, right? What happens like even Monday night when the temperatures drop again? That could all freeze up. You're going up and over like Alabama 40 and Henniger. Whew, that S-curve, no thank you, I'm good with that. How about you driving up Montesano on 431, you get to the top, or you coming down it and the water's rushing off and all of a sudden it gets cold enough where it starts to freeze and you get pockets of ice. You know, you be the first one there, I promise you nobody's going to be there to sand that or salt that, and you're going to hit it, right? So, yeah, that's the way this works. Hi, Vacation Valerie. Good to see you on, as always. I remembered everything. Very proud of myself. Very absent-minded guy. Tweety, happy National Spaghetti Day with meatballs. I love it. I'm not Italian at all, but I eat like an Italian because I love Italian food. Pasta is my Achilles heel. Vacation Valerie saying hi to everybody because she's the hostess with the mostest, and I hope that everybody says hi back to her because she's wonderful. Darlene, I feel like we just talked about 12 hours ago. Good to see you on. What do you think of the haircut? Yeah? Okay? You good? All right. Good to see you on. Darlene, counting the days. You actually going to be driving back soon, right? You going back to Georgia? You good on the drive today? Going to be a lot colder when you come back, though, even though it's cold now. Vacation Valerie saying hi to everybody, which is good. Hi, April Misty Ford. I'm so happy to see you back again. This is fantastic. Good to see you on. Always a pleasure. I'm glad you get to hang out with us. That's awesome. I'm really glad you came back. I started coffee time a little early this morning just because we have so much to talk about. So much to talk about. Vacation Valerie says good morning to everybody. Please no snow next weekend. Yeah, I'm going to talk about that. I got a lot to talk about. Oh, you leave tomorrow morning, my bad. I thought it was this morning. That's what I mean. I can be a little bit of an airhead. I appreciate that. And thank you for approving the haircut. I appreciate that too. All right, let's take a little walk around some cameras. The Shoals, you're up to 31 now. You were down to 27 this morning. Plenty of sunshine there reflecting off the water. Sunshine is not a problem today. Remember, we have a 48 first alert weather day for Sunday, not for today. Today is good. It's just cold. 32 in East Limestone. 30 in beautiful Gunnersville for Sherry, who was just here moments ago. Parkway looks good, 32 degrees. Again, it's cold, but it's not terribly bone-chilling cold, but it's cold. 30 degrees in Decatur. Beautiful sunrise this morning. Also, too, for those of you who are into this sort of thing, we're adding 42 seconds of daylight today as the daylight hours very slowly creep to more, which is nice. Looking good in Madison at 32 degrees. Trash Panda season right around the corner, almost. Athens at 30. Much different forecast today than it was Saturday at this time last week when we were tracking the potential for severe weather at night. And unfortunately, that tornado did touch down in Athens. Huntsville, beautiful look there at 32. Afternoon planner, I just skipped to the good stuff. Mid-40s, low wind, sunshine. Not bad. Looks pretty good. Tonight, clouds increase, a few spotty showers, mainly rainfall. If you live in Jackson County and you have a few showers early tomorrow morning, let's play the game and mix a little sleet into it. But I really think for the most part, it's just some light rain showers. In fact, the forecast model is kind of slowing down the precipitation in the morning tomorrow. But once it gets here and ramps up after 5 p.m., it's heavy rain and gusty winds. That's why we issued the 48 first alert weather day. And notice the temperature drop. Low 30s Monday morning. Again, a few icy spots are possible. Could have a few flurries throughout the day. That screams winter. And then cold on Tuesday too. Let's talk about the elephant in the room real quick. That's next week. So a lot of talk about what's going to happen on Friday. Just going to say this really quick. While there is potential for more in the way of some kind of adverse weather for next Friday, let's put it in perspective. It's 6 days away. The energy with the system that will be impacting the area on Friday is not even on land. It's like over in the middle of the ocean. Models have a really difficult time handling that, and therefore, literally the last runs for the last 48 hours have been all over the place. A couple of them pop a lot of snow. Some of them pop sleet and freezing rain. Others pop all rain. And then there's a few forecast models that have literally nothing for Friday except cold temperatures. So I'm going to say this. I'm going to say there's a wide spread. The best you can do is get past Sunday and Monday. Watch the forecast closely. As the energy for that system gets closer to land, it will get a better sampling and the models will come into more agreement on what's going to happen. A lot of times, too, when you see a snowfall, like forecast graphic, remember that the 10-to-1 ratio on like the GFS factors in the sleet, too. So it doesn't mean it's all snow. So if you see a snow graphic that says like 6 to 8 inches, there could be some sleet mixed into that, and that's adding to it. So very important to keep an eye on things and how Friday plays out. I mean, there are some scenarios where the low pressure stays right along the coast and nothing happens here. Like it's just a complete miss. The one thing that stays constant, though, is the cold temperatures. 30s throughout much of the week into next weekend. And then some 40s for Sunday, Monday, but that will be short-lived because there looks like another shot of colder air after that. So there'll be one right after another. Amber says, agreed, my favorite nice corner of the internet. This is the nice corner. I love hearing that. Let me see if anybody's yelling at me on the other one. Nope, not yet. Good. All right. Vacation Valley. I had to go get some jeans today. I'm feeling much better on this clean diet, but the side effects is none of my jeans fit. That's not a bad thing. That's good. Congratulations. I need to take notes on how you're doing it because I've been eating and I can't stop. The holiday season has got me good. Leaving the 10-day up. If you have any questions, just holler. Glenda, good morning, Jeff. Bring on the snow. Yeah, there you go. Somebody who likes snow. Not everybody hates snow. There are people who like it. Usually people that don't have to go to work, but that's okay. But yeah, there's a chance. I'm saying there's a chance. See how it goes. Hallie's in back. Say hi to Hallie. So the reason why I don't make tremendous amounts of mistakes on air on a regular basis, at least in terms of technical stuff, is because of Hallie, who is right now punching stuff in the back for the shows that we have on. She can't help me with how much I stumble over my words, but she can definitely help me out and make sure I'm in the right camera every time, which is fantastic. And say hi to her because she's pretty awesome. Vacation Valerie saying hi to Glenda. Larry and Patsy, good morning to you. I see a coffee cup. I raised you a coffee cup. Mugs up. Where's my good buddy Paul? Paul says that to me all the time. He's a good guy. April says, talking to everybody, Vacation Valerie. Amber says, be right back. Don't do anything fun without me. We could never do anything fun without you, Amber. Anything fun is only if you're here. Good morning, Al Moniz, my friend. Good to see you. Al, I moved here to get away from wintry precipitation, and I'm not really a big fan of what's happening here right now, my friend. Like, I don't want it. Darlene loves the snow. See, another snow lover right there. There are some snowbirds down here. I know, there's a few of you. But Darlene, you got some Connecticut roots in you. So you get a pass on that. All right, where are we at? Wow. Nobody's yelled at me on YouTube yet. This is great. We're on a roll. Vacation Valerie, me, Al. Al and Susan are really awesome. Vacation Valerie, you'd get along with them too. Vacation Valerie, there's nobody that you wouldn't get along with, just for the record. But Vacation Valerie, me, Al. Al, meet Vacation Valerie. Valerie Kirby Carey is Vacation Valerie, everybody, because she likes to take vacations, and she's the hostess with the mostest that will talk with you all. And she's fabulous, and she comes on all the time to hang out on Coffee Time, and I'm so happy for that. All right, I'm going to pop a few graphics up. This is your hour-by-hour forecast. Hi, Lauren. Lauren, is it Chandler? Lauren Chandler, good morning to you. I see a new name. I try to say hi. If you've been on before and I missed your name, I'm a big loser, and I'm sorry, but it's good to see you. Cassidy, timeline for Sunday. I'm getting to that. I'm talking right now. This is a very casual kind of setup, Cassidy, and I'm going to talk about that right now. Ooh, a dual stream fancy. I know, right? I'm on YouTube and I'm on Facebook. YouTube last week was really nice. People were nice. Not always the case on YouTube. YouTube can be kind of mean. Vacation Valerie, I love snow, just not next weekend, please. We'll work on it. Let's make sure that we get Cassidy the timeline because we don't want Cassidy to have to wait. So sunshine galore today. That's 3 p.m. on Saturday. We're in the 40s. So a few light showers tomorrow morning. This is not heavy rain at that point. This is just a few little light showers racing across the area. But the rainfall will pick up with intensity after 5 o'clock for areas to the west. It will come down heavy at times between 5 p.m. and midnight. This is not severe thunderstorms. This is just rain and wind gusts over 40 miles an hour. But if it knocks your power out, you're going to be pretty ticked off. That rain will continue to move east across I-65 by 7, 8 o'clock, and then eventually to Jackson County, DeKalb County, Franklin County in Tennessee to 9 or 10, and then clear the Georgia state line by midnight. Notice your temperatures, 60 east, 40s west. Look what happens by 8 a.m. on Monday. A few flurries, 20s west, low to mid 30s east. That's a rapid drop in temperature quick enough where any kind of wet roads will probably be icy Monday morning, especially west of I-65. Less of a chance of icy roads in the higher terrain of the Lookout Mountain and also areas like Sand Mountain as we go into the morning on Monday. The flurries, token flurries, there's your timeline. This is not a timeline of thunderstorms. We show this graphic all the time, and this is not a thunderstorm timeline. The storms do not look to be severe like they were last weekend. This is a timeline of wind and rain, and that storm timeline banner should be just rain and wind timeline, but you get the gist. I just talked about this on the hour by hour. Orange, 5 to 8, 7 to 10, 9 to midnight. Right now, I don't think any adjustments need to be made. I think that looks pretty good and I feel all right about it. Nobody yelling at me on YouTube yet. This is really great. Lauren, good morning. Vacation Valerie saying hi. Carolyn Andrews, good to see you on. Thank you for stopping by, and I really appreciate that. I hope any kind of information here is helpful for you, and I also hope that if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'm more than welcome to help out. Christine Tinker from beautiful Bryan, Alabama. Good to see you on, Christine, with a little sunshine icon. You're so sweet. Put a little light to that. Al says, going on a cruise in March on our vacation, then visiting Jeff in Huntsville. I'm going to put a big old heart to that. Al Moniz sure is. Al and Susan stopping by to see us here in Huntsville, and I'm really excited to see that. I'm already counting the days down. Can't wait, can't wait, can't wait. Christine Tinker saying hi to everybody, saying hi to Carolyn. I'm going to the Woman of Joy cruise next weekend. Yes, Vacation Valerie goes on a cruise next weekend. So who was it? Was it Carolyn that was asking, or Chastity? Cassidy? Who was asking for the timeline? There it is. Cassidy, I have answered your question. If you have any questions back, just let me know. I've left the timeline graphic up for extra amount of time for you as well. Amy, good morning. Hi, good to see you on. Happy coffee time. It's good to see you. So I was going to make a graphic this morning. I was going to have some fun with it. Let me go ahead. I'm going to pop the 10-day behind me. I want to show you something kind of fun. So the 10-day forecast, right? This is really cold, a lot of 30s. But one thing that should stick out to you, and many of you know the weather around here, and you're really good about it. What do you see here at the low temperatures? You see 118 here, 23, 21, 23. Why are we so cold during the day? But the nights, they're cold, but not like bone-chilling cold, right? A lot of cloud cover for the week ahead, too. Not a lot of sunshine. So I'm going to drip at night, and I'm going to not drip during the day, if you know what I'm talking about with your sinks. But one thing we don't have with this blast of cold, there's no single-digit temperatures. You know, we're talking this up like this is this big blast of cold, and people are talking about it like a week out. From last week, they were talking about it. But we've had so much cold. I've been here 2 years, and it's been way colder than what's coming this week. Now, the difference with this is it's 30s for like 6 days. It's a little odd. But that's kind of what happened last year during the Sleet Fest. We had that prolonged period of cold. That's why nothing melted. It was epic, right? Vacation Valerie, already making a date with Al. I love it. Good stuff. Vacation Valerie, Al and Susan are awesome. Cassie says, thank you. Have a good day. You too. Have a good day with a sunshine icon, which I really appreciate. Good stuff. Darlene says, our cruise is in 344 days. Everybody's going on cruises. We've already talked about this. I can't do a cruise. I cannot. Can't do it. Amber says, I'm back. The BF is headed back to the Fort Rucker today, so it was getting him and his daughter on the road. Amber, welcome back. We appreciate you being on Facebook Live and hanging out, which is good. I see someone down there. What about the weather this weekend? Christine, I just talked about it all coming up, and we got sunshine today. We good to go. I'll use this graphic. This one's easier. Sunshine today, some rain and wind on Sunday. Where you live, really late at night, because you live, I know where you live. I won't say it out loud. And you're going to have winds over 40 miles an hour and heavy rainfall. That's why we have an alert day, because you're going to also get cold Monday morning. You have a higher chance of some flurries on Monday than everybody else where you live. And it's going to be very chilly. It could be a little icy Monday morning. But that's your forecast for the weekend right there, okay? Hi, Dave. Just stopping in to say hello. Dave. He's Vacation Dave. He's across the pond enjoying the beautiful northern lights and snowstorms in a Scandinavian country, which I'm a little jealous. He's the best. Christine says, are we getting snow? You have some flurries on Monday, Christine, and then there's a chance for some precipitation at the end of the week, which I talked about. There's a lot of different scenarios playing out for next Friday, and we'll have to wait and see. Like, the new runs just came in right now. The Euro pumps in like enough warmer air on Friday that it's all rain. The GFS puts this nose of warm air in the 850 level and turns it into a sleet fest like last year. That's not what I want. I'd rather have all snow or all rain. But we'll see how it plays out. Long way to go. All right. I'm going to pop the 10-day forecast up for you so you can see it without it being behind me. You don't need to see me. Charlotte, good morning, Jeff, and everyone. Happy New Year. I welcome the snow if it happens. I'm a native of Huntsville, and it's rare here to see a good snowfall. You are right about that. It's great for the kiddos, but many still have to go to work. Love the beauty of snowfall. Be safe. Charlotte, I couldn't agree with you more. And snow is beautiful if you don't have to work, and I get it. But I think it's funny. I had a lady yesterday, and she was so nice. And I tried to have fun with her. I don't think she really got my sarcasm, but she was kind of ticked off at me, I think. But she said, we never get snow here. It stinks. We always are the ones that miss out. You don't live in an area that gets a lot of snow. That's probably the problem. Climatologically speaking, this is not a snow belt. It's the deep south. So snow is rare. And so I understood her frustration that she felt like she missed out on snow a lot. But there are other places in the U.S. that get a lot more snow that you can move to. Now, with that said, I sent her a screenshot of the Montana Department of Transportation camera, and it was in Lookout Pass. You can always find snow in Lookout Pass. It snows there like every day. And so I sent it to her. I said, but you can always live vicariously through other pictures in other areas in the United States, and here's a picture of the snow. Yeah, I think she blocked me. I don't think she was really happy with me. I didn't mean to be jerk. You just don't live in an area. It's like in San Diego asking for snow. It's not quite that big of a difference, It's not like we're San Diego here. We do get snow. But like, I mean, it's like asking for something that doesn't usually happen. Like, I want $1 million. I'm not going to get it tomorrow, right? So snow is hard to come by. It can happen here, though. And there's been some winters that there's been some decent snow. You just got to time it right. We got the cold air. We just need a way to get the precipitation here and not warm the temperatures up while it gets here. That's the tricky part. And not just at the surface, too. Like last year, what happened? We had that nose of warm air move in for the upper levels. It turned into a big old sleet fest. Had hardly any snow. But it locked down the area for 2 weeks because we kept having a series of cold temperatures behind it and everything froze and then never melted, right? So sometimes it's not snow that can really make a big difference. It can be wintry precipitation and prolonged cold that could be a problem. All right, Heather Ann, good morning to you, Jeff. Good morning to you. And Amanda says, first coffee time of 2025, good morning. Amanda, I didn't even realize that. Providence Phil's in the house for this. My Brad Travis coffee mug of coffee time is in the house for this. I mean, it's a good day. It's a good day for everybody to be here. I appreciate y'all. Angie, good morning. I think the snow last year did me in from wanting any of this winter. Well, that's great because we didn't really have any snow last year. That's awesome. You're good. No, we had the sleet. We had the disgusting ice storm in January, but it was mainly just sleet. Some areas northwest Alabama had some snow, though. There was like 3 inches in Florence. So if you were in Florence, you had some snow. But last year was just that awful sleet fest. And then after 3 days after we had it on a Sunday night into Monday, we had a little light rainfall on Thursday with a temperature of 36. And then another blast of frigid air came in, froze it all up again on Friday morning. And we had road closures and overpasses were shut down. And that continued right through the weekend. And by the time we got to the following week, everybody had pretty much had enough. I know everybody here at the station did. Even our friends over at WAFF 31, I mean, they up in Montesano, they couldn't even get back and forth to work. You know, I think they're our friends. Amber saying to Angie, that was sleet and ice. I don't want any more of that either. Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was. I mean, I don't care if it's like snow, sleet, freezing rain down here, whatever wintry precipitation we have, it ties us up, right? I mean, we just don't have the means to get it cleared off quickly. And last year, I mean, it was a debacle. You have really cold temperatures on the heels of precipitation like that, like potentially have this Sunday into Monday, and that stuff ain't going anywhere. You're not melting it. It's not like we're going to bring out the sandblasters in Huntsville and take care of it all. Secondary roads are going to be a mess forever. That's the way it works. So anytime that there's a potential chance of having some kind of precipitation, whether it's sleet, snow, or whatever it is, it's a huge impact here. December 2022, 26th of December, I just moved here. Frigid, bone-chilling temperatures for Christmas. I already talked about it. Single digits. It was 8 degrees at 4 p.m. on December 23rd, right? That makes this look like a heat wave. And then a little light precipitation fell December 26th. Nobody had watched the forecast. They were locked in on the holidays, taking back their returns. And that little bit of a 1/4 inch of snow, that's all it was, melted on the roads. And then everybody got off the roads after they shopped during the day, and it all froze. And everybody did this and couldn't get up hills, and everybody was stuck, and it was very bad. That was a 1/4 inch of snow that did that. Think about that. Epic. You're welcome, Christine Tinker. I'll put a heart to that, and I'm sorry I didn't talk back faster. Chris Bennett, how are you? Good morning, Jeff from Thornton, Illinois. Good to see you on. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate it. The Alabama weather is interesting, even for people in Illinois. You see that? It's pretty awesome. Amber, I don't want last year. There was cheer comp here, VBC, thousands of people coming to Huntsville for that, and we don't drive well in it. No, a lot of people didn't even have a choice. They couldn't drive last year. It was like locked down. I remember we went out the day after the ice on that Monday, and I went in the storm tracker on Tuesday with Byron, and we were like driving around. And there was nobody on the roads. Everything was a sheet of ice. We're just like, he's just like this, and we were driving so slow. We couldn't go. Couldn't go more than like 5 miles an hour without the back edge of the storm tracker fishtailing. It was crazy. Angie says she had snow all here, and it stayed around entirely too long. Angie, where are you at? What town are you at? Help me out. Oh, in Florence. She's in Florence. Northwest Alabama had 3 inches of snow before they turned over to sleet. And that was where we had some accumulation with that storm. So that's where we did have some snow. Nicole Waller, hi Jeff. I thought of you last night when my friends were talking about their predictions for the next month. They said they think super cold. For next month, for February, because February looks like a torch, but January looks really cold. Like once the cold air sets in, and again, this is not bone-chilling, disgusting stuff, but it's cold. It looks like it sticks around through the end of the month, and then once we get into February, it looks like it flips. And I say a torch, meaning like warm. So there you go. Amber, you were lucky we drove back from it. It took us 3 days. Yeah, Amber had a horrible time getting home with that ice storm last year, and I felt so bad. But yeah, that was not a. We did talk about how it was going to be very tricky to get back, though. If I remember correctly, I think I had your back on that. I think I tried to give you a heads up. Maybe I didn't. I don't know. Let's see what happens. Vacation Valerie, a lot of thank you, a lot of hellos, a lot of thank you, a lot of thank you, a lot of thank you, a lot of thank you. Brandy Johnson, good morning. And she says hello to Valerie. Brandy, welcome to the group. We appreciate that. 10-day forecast is behind me. If you have any specific questions, I'm here and I can answer for them to the best of my ability. And Amber says, this year, next weekend, 9th to 11th, there's a huge competition. Yeah, Amber, if that storm were to hit on Friday, that would be a big problem for that event on the 9th and the 11th, right? Yeah, that would be bad. Nicole says, this is also interesting. I love learning to appreciate the nuances of weather here. All right. Yeah, you can have winter, spring, winter. And that happens across everywhere in the United States. It's not just the Tennessee Valley. It's just how weather works. Cold fronts, warm fronts, temperatures go up, temperatures go down. Some areas really extreme, some areas more extreme than others. But everybody has it, except for maybe like San Diego. They're pretty consistent. San Francisco, very consistent. Brandy says, cleaning the house, nothing fun. Cleaning the house is good. When you get done cleaning the house, how good do you feel when you've cleaned the house and you've got a nice clean house and you can sit back and relax afterwards? It's a good feeling. I'm not inspired to do it yet today, though. Maybe tomorrow. Jeff is good at teaching. I'm sure there's some people in the weather community that probably don't feel that way, but try to keep it simple. Rebecca Baldwin-Patton, I'm about to hibernate for a month. I agree with you. If I had that option, I might do that too. Yeah, Providence Phil's been hibernating. He's been hiding in the my backpack for like a year. He's back though. I hope Lori comes on and sees this because I was getting worried because I couldn't find Phil. And I was really worried I lost him. But he's back now. Providence Phil is not nearly as cool as Bumble. And I'm not trying to have a Bumble. Providence Phil is just because Providence Phil is Providence Phil before I even moved here. And all the people that come on here know who Providence Phil is. That's all. All right, where am I at? Hale. Oh, what does it say? Hallie Wardcast. I don't have my glasses on. If I mangle your first name, you yell at me and tell me I'm a big idiot. If I mess up your last name, I just am stupid and I can't say it, okay? Everyone get your books and Kindles ready. Yes, I like that. A good book. I don't know anything about reading. I don't do it often or ever, but I know somebody who does, and that is Claudia. She's really good about that stuff, and she reads a book, like a book a week or a book a day or something. Bless her heart. It's good stuff. I don't read, but I like your plan. I love that. It's fantastic. See if anybody's yelling at me on YouTube yet. Nope. Good. Amber, we did talk about it. You helped me navigate back. I remember chatting you up about that. I do. If you have any questions, just ask. I'm going to show you I'm going to go around and do the graphics one more time for y'all. I try to do it every 5 minutes. Chris Bennett says, I live near Red Bay, Alabama, just here for work, talking to Chance. The lake affects snow here where I'm working. Hey, I know, I was wondering when you wrote me, I was like, I thought you were Red Bay. Now I know why. But yeah, the lake effect snow machine in the Great Lakes has been on full blast since December. It's been crazy. So much lake effect snow. And that's usually when you have really cold temperatures racing across the lakes like that. And we've had a tremendous amount of Arctic blast so far since early December. Now, sometimes that Arctic blast doesn't get all the way down to the Tennessee Valley, but it certainly makes it to the Great Lakes. And they've had a tremendous amount of snow this year, especially for areas like in Watertown, New York, even parts of not all of Buffalo, because Not everybody in Buffalo gets lake effect snow, believe it or not. Parts of Buffalo do. It's a big city. Heather Burke is in the house, everybody. Cheers to that. Good to see you on. Tell that guy Eric I said hi. He's pretty cool. Everybody here, you all know him as morning meteorologist Eric Burke. That's Heather Burke. She's pretty cool. We're thinking about going to get some oysters today. If you all are interested, call me. Yes. It could be an oyster day. And they have other stuff besides oysters if you're not into that. So call me. Brandy says, true. Vacation Valley, talking to Rebecca. Amber, we need to get you a trash panda. I would love a trash panda. Oh my gosh, Amber, that would be fantastic. You're going to make me cry. You know how much I love the pandas and I love Havoc. Speaking of the Havoc, their next home game is the 10th, everybody. And they're really having a very, very good year. So that would be next Friday and Saturday they're at home. I think they're 10th and 11th. I think I have tickets. I'm not sure, though. I have tickets to see Clue tonight. If anybody's going to be there, I will see you. Clue at 7:30 is my showtime, I do believe. Charlotte says, the snow in 1993 caught a lot of folks off guard. We lived on Montesano, east side, and it was amazing how much snow fell. Yeah, 93 was a big year. I looked back at that. There's been a couple years. In fact, 63 was a really big year, too, if you want to go back there. That all happened in like the last week of December, I do believe. So there's been notable storms here, and always the bigger, more extreme weather is what we remember the most here. Like, I mean, you mentioned tornadoes. Most of you, first time thing you say is 2011, right? So we remember those extreme situations, so to speak, whether it's snow, tornadoes, really hot, really cold. And yeah, and you can remember it like right off the top of your head, right? Vacation Valerie says, be safe. Good morning to Heather. Rebecca says hi back. Ian, great question. How is the wind looking for this 10 days? Well, that's the reason why we have that 48 first alert weather day there, Ian, for tomorrow. It's mainly for the nighttime. It's not just the heavy rain, but the winds gusting over 40, 50 miles an hour, certainly possible. Severe thunderstorms do not look like an issue, but the winds look strong. And those winds will stay gusty on Monday. So when the temperature's like 37, going to feel a lot colder with some flurries flying around on Monday. Watch out for some icy spots in the morning. Winds back off a bit on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, but it's still cold. And there'll be a lot of cloud cover too. That keeps the temperature down during the day, but it keeps the temperatures from really being grossly cold at night. So a lot of around 20s at night and a lot of 30s by day. Not much wind Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. At least I don't think it's a tremendous amount of wind. Might pick up a little bit of wind on Friday, depending on a storm system, where it goes. I talked about this earlier. Forecast models have anywhere from a big old rain event to a big old snow event to something in between to a complete miss. And since the system or the energy from that system is not even on land yet, it's hidden out in the Pacific, might want to wait a few more days before we can tune in on exactly how this is going to play out. But just know that by Friday, there could be more in the way of some wintry precipitation that could impact your plans for the end of the week. Amber says, it snowed a couple years ago on my birthday on January 2nd, and that's a good marker. You know, I know this because Eric Burke, he had a memory come up on his Facebook page yesterday while I was working with him, and he said, look at this, a couple years ago, it snowed on this day. This was on the 2nd. Yep. I don't know. I think it was 2022. I wasn't here for that one. I think it was before I moved here, but I'm not sure. But anyway, I saw the pictures. It looked cool. Amanda, when will the gradient winds be picking up this weekend? I love it. The gradient winds. They will pick up Sunday when the 48 first alert weather day kicks in for tomorrow. After 5 p.m. to about midnight will be when the strongest winds could be anticipated. Those gradient winds will gust up to 40, 50 miles an hour, and then still remaining gusty after the rain moves out, probably like 30 miles per hour into the morning on Monday. So the concern is, say you lose power Sunday night, right? They can't go up in the bucket if the winds are still 30 miles an hour, I think. So, you know, I don't think they're going to be widespread power outages Sunday night, but for anybody that does lose power, that's a huge bummer when you have cold temperatures coming in on the heels of that heavy rain and wind. Lose power, no heat, right? That's a bad combination. That happened to me one time when I was working in New York. I covered Superstorm Sandy, and it was a monster storm that affected so much of Long Island, New Jersey, and Hudson Valley. And it was at the end of October, and it was a late season hurricane that was called Superstorm Sandy. It's a long story. And a lot of people lost power. And then like 4 days later, we had this Arctic front move through, and it was snowing with temperatures in the 20s, and there was no heat for people. And it became a really big concern. In fact, so many people that lost power were trying to find ways to stay warm. I mean, literally big communities were without power after Sandy, and then that shot of cold air came in, and it wasn't even the fact that we had 2 inches of snow, it was the fact that it was like 18 degrees and nobody had heat in the area. And it wasn't like 1 or 2 houses. It was like whole areas that had snow. I mean, cold and snow, but it was bad. Bad. All right, Amber, good morning. Every day, good morning, Jeff. Suzanne Smith, Clue was so good. Oh, I'm excited to hear that. Clue, I cannot wait to go see Clue tonight. 7:30 is my time to go. Clue is going to be a great show. Thank you, man. I can't wait. A lot of people from the station are going tomorrow. The Titans play tomorrow, and I have to watch them lose their last game of the year. And hopefully they'll get the first round pick next year in the draft if they lose and the Patriots somehow win, but we'll see how it goes. Oh, yes, that was a good kind of snow, Brandy says. Yep, there you go. Suzanne says she saw it last night. Clue, that is. I'm glad you thought it was great. The movie was really good, and I can't wait to go to the BBC and see it tonight. I can't wait. I'm very excited. Claudia's going tomorrow. She's going to see the matinee tomorrow. Amber says we are going to see 6 in February. That's another one I want to see, too. I tell you, if you are a fan of going to the BBC and seeing great shows, they do a great job. I saw Mean Girls there. I saw Stomp there. I'm going to see Clue tonight. I love going there. Everybody's so nice. It's a great atmosphere, and it's wonderful. And it's only $5 to park in the garage next door. You can't beat that. Heather Burke saying hello to Amber, which is great. Bill Beck! Any chance of a window of sleet in the Shoals tomorrow morning? I don't think so. I just don't. The precipitation looks like it's going to hold off until the temperatures actually rise to the mid to upper 30s. If we're going to have some sleet that mixes in with some very light rainfall tomorrow morning, it would probably be for areas in northeast Alabama where some of the colder air will probably get trapped a little bit longer. But the timing of the precipitation getting here doesn't coincide when the temperatures are going to be at their lowest in the morning. In fact, once we get in the morning hours, temperatures are going to rise actually pretty quickly. It's part of a warm front lifting north. So what's going to happen is I don't think so. Could you have a sleet pellet mixed in with the rain briefly? Yeah, but I don't think it's a huge widespread sleet fest tomorrow or anything like that. I hope that answers your question, my good friend. Valerie, we had just moved in our brand new house in December 93. Yep. Vacation Valerie told me about the snow in 93. I remember that very well. I'm a little worried. Not one comment on YouTube. Ooh. Either people hate me so much they don't even want to comment, or they're just like, this guy, he's weird. Vacation Valerie saw Clue last night, which is fantastic. Back and forth. The Six Wives of Henry VIII. Yes. If you have 96.9, we do like weather hits for them, and they're pretty awesome. And they have a really cool, funny promo that they do for 6 in February with the, I forget, it's Andrew, I think. Andrew and Abby Kay are on. It's really funny. You can tell they have a good rapport when they do those little promos. They're really funny to watch. Roberta Smart is on. Good morning to you. And Suzanne says she laughs so hard at Clue. I can't wait to see it. I'm excited. Suzanne, you're getting me excited to see this show tonight. I can't wait. Amber, let me know how Clue is. I have a theater kiddo and may try to take her before it leaves. I think it leaves this weekend. It's not here for a long time. It was a very late ad, and I think it's only here through tomorrow, Amber, but I can try to find out for you. I'm pretty sure it's like a weekend event. So, Bill Beck says good morning to Vacation Valerie. Yeah, Bill Beck, I think from our standpoint, or at least the forecast for here, I think Eric Burke talked about this yesterday morning too. There is a slight chance for a little sleet Sunday morning, but I would, based on the forecast models today, I would venture to say that would be like mainly north and east Alabama and away from us. Very minimal widespread. The temperatures look like they're going to be mid-30s. In fact, the low temperature tonight doesn't look nearly as cold as it did yesterday. Like more models are putting out like upper 30s for tonight. I still have 34 just to cover my butt. But like most of the forecast models have like a 37 or 38 tonight. The only really cold air that gets close to freezing is like northeast Alabama tonight. I would bank that because the cloud cover maybe might be moving in a little faster, and that might be why. But Dave Luddy, good morning, Jeff, and everybody. He says, no snow. Dave, I don't have a lot of snow, but I have some adversity coming, though. Amber says, Brish they'd bring Hamilton here. I saw Hamilton twice. It was really good. Suzanne says, I have 6 tickets if you want them, Jeff. Oh, Suzanne, you're so sweet, but I appreciate that. I'm sure you probably have somebody that would probably really want to go. I'm going to go. I got a hookup, okay? And but I appreciate that so much. It's so kind of you to offer me the tickets. But thank you. Because Suzanne's going to be on a cruise. Everybody's going on cruises. You all are great. This is great. Everybody goes on cruises except me. I'm afraid to go on a cruise. I don't like boats. All right. I am going to talk about the forecast really quick one more time. Why do we have a 48 first alert weather day for Sunday? Because of the rain and wind at night after 5 p.m. Gust up to 40, 50 miles an hour. Could be some isolated power outages. Focus on the temperatures. If you're 58 on Sunday and you're 33 at night, yeah, icy by Monday morning. Could be some slick spots. Please be careful. Kept flurries in the forecast. We talked about it all week. Might as well put the word flurries there. And 37. You might jump a temperature or 2 during the day on Monday, but pretty much flatline throughout the day. It's not going to be a big jump. And then cold on Tuesday. It's time out the rainfall and everything for you on the next graphic. Sunshine galore today. Sunshine this afternoon. Clouds increase tonight. Spotty shower chance. Notice that the coverage isn't all that impressive. There's a few showers that skirt the area sometime between about, I'll say 8 and 9 a.m. Again, the temperatures are mainly at this point in the mid to upper 30s with some 40s out west. Very hard to have sleet mix in with that. And then as we go into the afternoon, a few spotty showers, but the core of the rainfall comes in after 5. It looks like a nasty line of thunderstorms. I get it, but it's not. It's heavy rain and gusty winds. There could be some thunderstorms for sure, but it does not look like the storms will be severe like they were last weekend. The setup is completely different. We don't have very much instability. I don't think the storms reach severe criteria, even though they'll be very strong and severe to our west. They'll lose that element as they move closer, and it's mainly just a rain and wind event. The rain will clear the Georgia state line by 1 or 2 a.m., and then the temperatures crash. You see a few white little flurries there. They'll continue throughout the day. And notice your temperatures by 8 a.m. This is Monday morning, upper 20s and low 30s for areas west. You will actually be colder than areas east, and you would have a higher chance of having some slick spots in the morning. There's your timeline. It's not a storm timeline. It's a rain and wind timeline. It's 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. for Sunday for areas in orange, that brown bronzy color, 7 to 10 in the middle, and 9 to midnight for areas in red. This is not a line for thunderstorms. It is a line for rain and wind. We talked about the 10-day forecast, keeping a close eye on Friday. Forecast model is very split on what it wants to do. Is it rain? Is it snow? Is it both? Is it a miss? Well, everything's on the table right now, and that's the problem with trying to zero in on a forecast when you have so many different scenarios on a storm that's 6 days away. We've got to fine-tune this thing. And as we get after Sunday, Monday, probably get a better idea of how that Friday will play out. And, of course, we'll continue to bring you updates at WAFF 48 is how we roll in this house. All right. Amber says, nice. Vacation Valley. I feel like I'm missing comments. I don't think anyone hates you that much. You're not hateable, in my opinion. Oh, thank you, Amber. I appreciate that. I don't know about that. I had somebody that seemed like they hated me this morning on Facebook. They were really mean to me. Amanda, if I'm not mistaken, I think Atlanta got a bunch of snow as well in 93. Yeah, it would make sense, I think, Amber. I think you're right on. I mean, if a snowstorm is going to affect Huntsville, I imagine that maybe Atlanta might have had some snow too. I don't know off the top of my head, but I imagine maybe like the whole South had a big storm. But I remember 93 having a little bullseye of snow. I remember that. I talked about that with many of you before. Every time we have a chance of snow, we bring it up. So Amber says, yeah, it looks like it leaves this weekend. Oh, it does. Yeah. I didn't think Clue was sticking around. I actually, to be honest with you, I think Clue was like a late ad because I didn't feel like I knew about Clue until like the second weekend of December, and then bam, it was coming. So it's all good. Vacation Valerie is going on vacation, telling everybody about that, which is good news. Amber, so we shouldn't have to be dripping faucets until Monday evening. Yeah, I talked to my good friend Cheryl, and she lives out in Dutton. She dripped last night, okay? And she's very concerned, and I get it. But with sunshine and 40s today, I didn't drip last night, and I'm certainly not going to drip tonight or tomorrow. But I would start the drip probably, I'm going to drip at night, but not during the day. Does that make sense? So, yeah. Yes. So, Kevin Scott Lowell, you have 47 for next Monday. I do. Yes. Not this Monday, but for following Monday. And it looks like, and I talked about this moments ago on the Facebook Live, and Kevin, you just jumped in, so you probably didn't hear me say this. The 30s through Saturday, we have a little brief break in the 30s for Sunday and Monday, but it looks like we crash again temperature-wise after this 10-day forecast. And so, therefore, the temperatures will likely drop again as we go into the following week, and a lot of 30s come back. And it looks like the month of January remains quite chilly. And 47 even on Monday is below average. The high temperature should be like 51 or 52. So even when you're hitting 43 or 47, you're still swinging and missing at where you should be for this time of year. I hope that helps. April, what does perennial day mean to look? Oh, happy perennial day. Perihelion day. It has to do with the moon, probably, if I know him. If I know him. That's the point. So this is the year, occurs 2 weeks after every December solstice, on the day when the Earth's center is approximately 91 gazillion trillion miles from the sun's center. It's also when you are the closest, the sun is closest, the point along the elliptical orbit where the fair planet is closest to the sun is called the perihelion. Perihelion. That's the exact day. Orbit day. It's also a day when you have a situation where, what did I say, 2 weeks after the winter solstice? Are we actually 2 weeks after the winter solstice already? We are, aren't we? I feel like that just happened like yesterday. Yeah, December 21st. 2 weeks. Go figure. Amber, the folks here are so nice. Just makes my heart happy, which is good. Vacation Valley, have a good day. Amber, you would have... I can't do cruises, Amber, but thank you. You're so kind. I can't do cruises. Suzanne says, I'm worried about next weekend, flying home from a funeral in Maryland next week. Yeah, all I can say right now, Suzanne Smith, is just keep an eye on the forecast. Nailing it down 6 days out is very tricky, but there does look like a storm system that will impact much of the East Coast as we go into not just Friday, but into next weekend as well. Amber, we need to go on coffee time. Whoop, anybody stream? Oh, you're very welcome. I just had somebody say thank you for the update on YouTube. It says Young at Heart. It says thank you for the update. You're very welcome. I appreciate that. Getting YouTube comments now too. It's a good day. You send them to me. You send them to me when you're mean, and I'll bring out the mama bear. It's all right. Comes with the job. D, what's up? Would you look at that? I predicted the weather. Good morning, everybody. You kind of did. I mean, I think you did. I don't remember the days you said, my friend. We definitely have winter precipitation coming. That's for sure. Or wintry feel, I should say, because there's a lot of rain in the forecast, actually. Vacation Valerie, yes, even South Georgia got several inches. Vacation Valerie talking about 93, I do believe. Good morning, D. I have to be careful how I say this. Rando, I don't know if you ever want to tell anybody why I call you D, but we call Rando D for a reason. Amber, perfect sense. I work from home now. Also probably drip at night. Yep, drip at night. Drip, drip, drip. Angela, how are you? You going to the game next weekend? You excited? Tough when the Havoc are away for like 2 weeks, right? They haven't had a home game in a while. Good morning to Amber. Angela, good morning, which is great. Christine saying hi. Vacation Valerie, how you doing? Good to see you. Bill Beck, have a fun night tonight, Jeff. You may be very busy next weekend. I could be, or I could be sleeping because right now I am not committing to either. Depends on which forecast model you go. It could be just a big old snooze fest and it just may miss south. Could be some rain. I snooze through that. Snow, different story. But we'll see what happens. It's very difficult to get a forecast right in the next 24 to 48 hours. It's very difficult to get a forecast right 6 days out. So that's why I would say keep it in the back of your mind, your little Rolodex. Say, I might have to keep an eye on the weather for Friday because there could be some adversity. And then stay tuned. Saying hello. Ooh, April says. I had to look it up exactly. I didn't know. I had to look it up. I knew it had to do with like the orbit and the sun being close, but I didn't know. It's like stuff I should know. Amber, this has become my favorite start to the weekend days. Thank you guys for being so awesome. I told you they didn't hate you on YouTube. No, I actually had a nice comment, which is great. I only had one bad comment in the last 3 weeks on YouTube, but he was really mean though. Vacation Valerie, you're very excited. Can't wait for our Havoc. Angela, you're a big Havoc fan, I know. I'm a big Havoc fan too. All right, so if you happen to watch this feed after I've stopped, which means that if you watch it after essentially 9 a.m., that means I'm not actually live. There was somebody that watched it last week and they were very confused by that. And they were asking me a whole bunch of questions and wondering why I wasn't answering them back because it's recorded after 9 a.m. It just simmers on my page all day. But if you're watching the replay, you can always ask a question and type in like hashtag replay, or I'll check the time to see when you commented and I will answer you back. I usually type an answer back because I check it later today. But if you try to talk to me like after I stop this live, I'm not here anymore. I'm actually probably having lunch somewhere in Huntsville by around noon. So, but I will try to always answer your questions whenever you ask. I think it's a pretty straightforward forecast. There's really not too many things that we haven't discussed already. The only big question mark is what happens next Friday at this point. Again, forecast models have literally 4 scenarios. You pick the forecast model you want, you pick the ensemble you want, you pick whatever you want, and they all have different thoughts about next week. Vacation Valerie, everyone have an awesome day. Stay warm, stay blessed. That's awesome. Be blessed. I like that. Good stuff. And Vacation Valley, I have to keep an eye on the forecast for you especially. That's the most important thing. Have a great day, Amber. Good to see you. I'm going to check out of here. Providence Phil. Providence Phil's going to sign off. Take his coffee with him. I'm going to sign off as well. Everybody have a fantastic day. Chelsea will be in tonight, I do believe, and she will have the very latest on what's going down for tomorrow, any updates. She'll probably be able to maybe even fine-tune a little bit more of the forecast for that Monday morning impact, plus maybe a look at what's happening at the end of the week. We'll see how that goes. And for now, I will be back tomorrow right out of bushy-tailed at 5 a.m. with more updates on the weather for the Sunday night, Monday timeframe, and for the end of the week as well. And I see big hearts from everybody, which is fantastic, and I'm wishing you all the very best. Have a fantastic Saturday.